All right, we are live again. Just gonna get my lighting as I would like it here. Okay, share the stream quick before we get too far into it. Okay. Share that. And share it to Facebook as well here, and then we'll get going. Okay. Here we go. Those are shared. Welcome if you're tuning in. So tonight, as you can see in the title, we're going to be doing two different things. We're going to be preparing this piece here for shipping. Tomorrow it's been picked up by the courier. And then the second part of tonight's video, we will be starting the painting process of the three large mixed media wood burning pieces that I burned yesterday and this morning. So basically, when shipping an artwork, obviously you want it to be protected so it doesn't get damaged. You want it to arrive safely. With these wood pieces, I'm always a little less worried because they're solid. It's not canvas that can be punctured. So that's one bonus to shipping these things. Sometimes I'll even just ship them in a bubble envelope because they're so sturdy by themselves. I don't feel the need to box them. However, this one I sold through a company that requires boxes. And so today at the post office, they sell these boxes that fold in. And this one's basically the perfect size for what we're going to be shipping here. And so you just make it yourself. I'm not going to seal this tonight. I'll seal this tomorrow morning. I need to put some documents in it, but I still have to print those off. But I'll show you how it fits in. So I'm just going to set this off to the side here. So first things first, I always like to wrap the pieces of art in paper. And this is just packing paper, you know, regular packing paper that you would use. Doesn't have any ink or anything on it. And that's important, see, because you don't want anything to accidentally bleed onto your artwork. So let's see how this works here. My desk is a little bit cramped with the setup I got going on, but that's all right. We'll figure it out as we go. Okay, we're gonna go through about there. So I always just make sure there's a little bit extra. Just so if I'm accidentally cut it at an angle or something, then there's always plenty to overlap. So I'm just gonna put tape back on there and put that off to the side. So when I'm putting together the stuff on the inside, I usually just use painter's tape. And one of the reasons I do that is because then it's easier for the customer to unload everything and unpack it once you get it out of the box. Otherwise, you're using scissors and knives and who knows what, and you might scratch the painting, and you don't want that to happen. All right, so we're going to bring this to the middle here. Lay that roughly in the middle. Okay, we have that in the middle. Bring the other side over, and we're going to stick a piece of tape. There we go. Put that in there. And now sometimes I'll trim these edges. Actually, let's do that right now. You know, if they're too long, you may as well just cut them down. It's annoying to have to work with too much paper. And I could have even done more than this. But we'll just start with that little bit. So we're going to fold this in just like a gift. And some of you may be thinking, I'm not very good at wrapping gifts. Oh no, that's the literal worst. That is the worst. I just had to go get some more. I'm just about out of this one, so I just had to go get some more tape the other day. All right, we're gonna flip it over to this side, find where the edge is there, cut some back. Okay. Fold this in again, just like you would fold in a present. Fold it up and over. Make sure everything's nice and flat. And tape it in there. So there we go. There's our basic paper wrapping. I always like to wrap it in paper first to just give a little extra protection. And then usually what I will do, we'll go this way here. Oh, I just ran over my mic cord, of course. Okay, let's get that out of there. There we go. I have my little pencil kit here. Usually just in pencil. I usually don't do it in ink because I don't want anything to go through. So then I'll just write a thank you with my name. Nothing fancy, just something, just a little note to say thanks for buying. And then what I actually forgot, sorry. All right, we're back with, hopefully back with the mic. I had to unplug it for a second. Then I always like to just throw in a couple of business cards to put in it as well. So if you're curious what my business cards look like, actually these are my old ones. Let me grab a couple of my new ones here. So basically the front you can see is my name, my website, and my email address, my little name with my face, and then just a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube logo just to show that I'm on those social medias. And then on the back is one of my paintings. One of my favorite ones, actually. The infamous bear. So I usually put these two on there and then just tape those onto the side as well. So after I have the, thanks. So after I have the paper on and I have my business cards on, and a little note, then I do a layer of bubble wrap. And let me tilt this camera up a little bit. You can see I've got a ginormous roll of bubble wrap. So we're going to get a little bit off of here. Let's see if I have room at all on my desk. And actually, while I'm at it, I'm probably going to rip off a few more of these just so we have enough. 4 should be all right for now. All right, so let's see what we got here. And usually what I'll do is I'll just kind of fold it over. Okay, and then it can almost hold itself in place. And we can, there we go, perfect. Okay, just gonna put a piece of tape back on this to keep it so it doesn't unroll. And now we will close this up. Just gonna align that in the center here, fold it over. And we'll put in one piece of tape right there. And then on the edges here, I'll usually just kind of wrap it around. And same with this side. Just wrap it in. One like this, I'm actually ending up putting more bubble wrap in the box. And so I'm not too worried that the edges are open, but if you wanted to, I could have rolled out more bubble wrap and folded it in a different way, but for our sakes in this one, you could just fold in a corner, fold in the corner, and do the same with these other sides here. All right, and you can see here, it's pretty protected. I have the bubbles out and then the flat side on the painting. And yeah, so that's my basic way to package these up. When I ship these in bubble envelopes and those reinforced envelopes, this is all I do. And then I can put it in those envelopes and they're good to go. If I'm shipping canvas, then and if I am shipping them in an envelope, then what I will usually do is on the back of the canvas, I will get a piece of cardboard that fits it and put that around it. So it kind of protects all surfaces. And then on the corners, I will put corner protectors because you want those corners of your canvas to stay protected. So here's the box again. As you can see, I have some larger bubble wrap. I am putting in the bottom of this, and then I will slide the painting in like that. Yeah, canvas is hard to ship. I honestly prefer to roll them and put them in a tube because I find them to be way safer. And so when people order paintings, I usually kind of tell them, you know, I can ship it stretched, but I prefer to ship it rolled because then you're not worrying about protecting corners. You're not worrying about things being punctured because tubes are a lot better for that, I find. And when you get to the bigger ones, it's actually way cheaper as well. And most of the time when people are buying those types of paintings, they're wanting to frame them themselves anyways. And so, yeah, I prefer shipping in tubes. So yeah, for this one, what I will end up doing is I will put just a little bit of protection on the sides here. This fits pretty well in this box, to be honest. It's a really good size box. And then after it's all, we'll then tape with the packing tape along along the front where it opens, and along the side as well. But I still need to insert a few documents in here. I need to put in a certificate of authenticity for the collector. And I also need to put in just like a declaration of goods, like what it is. And then tomorrow when I print off over the barcode, just to protect it, so that when it's protected and they can always scan it and always tape all four corners of I just tape all the edges of the shipping labels so that it stays and doesn't get ripped off or anything like that, especially when, they're going overseas. But yeah, that's my basic shipping packaging methods. If you have any questions about that, don't be afraid to ask. I don't think I have a video showing this, but I do have a video showing how I roll them into tubes and my process for that. If you're interested in checking that out, that is on my channel. I think it's just called How to Ship a Painting in a Mailing Tube. And it shows me taking the painting off the stretcher boards, stretcher bars and everything like that. So yeah, I will print off the other documents for this, put them in, and seal this up in the morning, as according to the courier's email, they're going to be coming after 10 o'clock tomorrow. So I have a little bit of time in the morning to get that ready. All right, just going to grab a quick little drink here. We'll put this back down to the desk. Okay, so now let's get into some painting. I don't think I'm really going to need these tonight, but I will put them there and they will be there if I need them. So if you were watching earlier, I was doing some wood burning. So I burned this one. I think it was this one this morning. Time has gotten away from me. This one this morning. This one last night. And this one yesterday. I didn't do a stream of this one because I didn't have my stuff set up and I just wanted to get it done. So our plan tonight, so these were a custom order, and my customer asked if I could, instead of creating the bright blue skies that I usually do, to kind of create more of almost like a stormy look. And so we're going to keep the clouds, the white clouds as they are, but then after that we're going to kind of get in with some more navy-ish blues and grayish blues instead of the bright blues that I'm used to. So in order to keep all three pieces coherent, what we're going to do is we're going to paint all three skies at the same time. So that means tonight we're just going to focus on the white clouds. We're going to get those in, and then tomorrow, either during the day or tomorrow evening, then we'll get into some of those grayish blues and navy blues. And yeah, I want to paint those all together so that all three of them match, because she wants them to to all be displayed in the same spot. And I understand, you want them to match if they're being displayed. And so that's our plan. I think tonight for these larger spaces, I'm going to be using this little brush here. Well, little, it's actually it's bigger. This one, if you were watching the other ones that I was painting, you can see the difference in size between them. That one almost fell off. But since the sky and the white usually they're bigger blocks, I want to cover some space quicker with one of these. We'll see. If it's not fast enough, I might even get a bigger one. And then, yeah, we will go from there. So let's put some white down here. Again, we're just using golden acrylic paint. I might break out some of the Liquitex stuff if this finishes up. As you can see, I'm just about through this, but I do have a brand new bottle of Liquitex titanium white. So if we do need to break that out, we will do so. My phone, so I can get the white in all the right places. Okay. All right, so we're just going to quickly mark here where we want our white to be. Sorry, I'm going to flip this like this just for a minute, just so I make sure I mark the right spots. Sometimes when I'm looking at these things upside down, the shapes get lost on me. Hey, thanks for coming to watch. I'm glad you're here. So yeah, we're starting with the skies. If you just are tuning in here. All right, but yeah, I'm just marking right now where the whites are going to go. Then we're going to paint in the whites on all three of them, and then we'll work our way through to the other pieces here. And this little guy right here, that one's marked. This one there, this one there. And that one there. Okay. There we go. I think we're good. I think we got all the whites there. So I'll turn it this way so you can see it better as we're going. And let's just get in here and start filling in some of these whites. So if you've watched me paint these before, you'll know that the whites usually take 2 layers. And so we'll see how long it takes to do 1 layer on all the paintings tonight. And if that ends up being most of our time, then I'll do the second layer tomorrow during the day. So I'm not, you're not getting bored. And then tomorrow night we can get into some of the other colors, but we'll see. We'll see how long this takes. You'll get a taste for all 3 paintings though tonight for sure. So that's good. Yeah, with this white being very, well, it is opaque for white, but it also is transparent when there's dark things underneath, so it always takes a couple of layers. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It's fun to be able to communicate and collaborate, and I don't know, just have a little artist community. I find that, it's easy to get, I don't know what the right word, it's not lonely, not cabin fever or anything, but artists just, a lot of times they spend so much time by themselves in their art space that it is fun to be able to share that art space and share the process with other people. So it's fun. Yeah, I'm really glad I started streaming these, because it's a lot of fun for me too to be able to talk with other people as we go. Quarantine hit, and I was like, well, that's fine. I can stay inside and paint all day. So if some of you have never seen these wood paintings before, usually I do them on, do I have one here? 11 pieces of wood. This one's 12 by 18. And so this is the first time that I've done this specific one, the grain elevator one, at this size. So I'm excited for it, because it is one of my favorites. It's a very iconic scene of the prairies of both Canada and the United States, really. And a lot of times when I do this first layer, I don't get too caught up with making sure the edges are perfect, because when I go through and do the second layer, then that's when I will, double check to make sure everything's smooth and as it should be. This first layer is really more about getting the paint on and making sure it's, covered. And then when I go through and do the second layer, then that's when I'll make sure. I'll probably get out one of the smaller brushes there to make sure the edges are as I like them and as they should be. I'll still try to get close though, because then it makes that second go around easier. And then if you've seen this painting before, you'll know that usually this one here is a bright red color. But what we're going to do with this one, since it's more of a stormy-ish scene, we're going to change that into kind of like a bright burnt orange instead. And I think that's going to look really cool. I'm excited to see how these ones turn out. I'm jealous I won't get to keep them. All right, let's keep on going here. This one definitely has the most sky out of all three. And so it will take the longest to do these whites on. The other two don't have quite as much sky. Especially the Lake Louise one. But that's kind of the highlight of this painting. It is highlighting the grain elevators that we have in the prairies, but it's also highlighting the big skies that we have. You can see for wherever. Some say you can see from one side of Saskatchewan to the other. No, I'm just kidding. But many parts of Saskatchewan, I'm sure southern Saskatchewan and southern Alberta are very flat. So I'm going to keep this thing rotating. I always like to get the best angles for the edges, so hopefully you don't get dizzy at all. And you can see I can already touch this part and it's already dry. It's a tiny bit sticky, but acrylic paint dries very quickly, which is good because then I can do my layers a lot faster too. Usually by the time I'm done filling in all the blocks with the color, then I can go back and start from where I started, and it's dry and I'm good to go with that second layer. I think this brush is working out pretty good. I wanted it large enough to be able to spread paint quickly, but also have the ability to get pretty close to these edges and these smaller corners and crevices. And that's what we're able to do here, so that's good. So yeah, we'll do the first layer on this one, and then we'll jump into another one so you get a taste for some of the other ones, and then we'll see what time it is when we get the first layer of the skies on the other one done, and maybe we'll come back and start doing a second layer on this one here, or even a second layer on one of the other ones. It doesn't necessarily have to come back to this one. So each of these took about an hour and a half to burn. I guess if you saw the streams, then you'll see that the length of the streams are about an hour and a half. The smaller ones that I do take about an hour. So these ones were about half an hour more, which actually isn't too bad considering the size. So I'm interested to see about how much time I'll put into these 3 paintings in the end. Even this one already, we've only been painting for about 15 minutes, I think. So the first 15 minutes we spent packaging up the other painting. It's going at a pretty good pace so far. We'll see if I'm saying that after the third layer of white. No. Yeah, this brush is doing pretty good so far, actually, for these larger ones. Sometimes it's hard to find the brush that will do exactly what you want it to, but no, this one's doing pretty good so far. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back in here with that smaller one though to be able to get this part. I don't want to spread that white across if I don't have to. Okay, wipe that off. It's nice to have these large spaces because I can just wipe off the excess right onto the painting. Charity, are you painting something right now as well? Maybe she is not listening right now. All right, we got 5 squares left. And we're definitely going to need some more white soon. But I knew for these ones that we would be using quite a bit of white. I need like one of those little, what they have called lazy Susans or something you put in the middle of your table. I can just spin this thing the way that I want it. And then probably have some food on one end so I can spin that towards me too. Yeah. Trying to think if I've seen anything that I could use instead. I don't know. And my hand works fine and dandy until it starts hurting. No, it usually doesn't. The more that I've done these types of paintings, the more comfortable I get with them, and then I'm able to work a little bit faster than the first ones that I was doing. And that goes for the burning part of it too. My my burning skills have sped up the time for sure. And the wood burner I have is phenomenal, so that really helps. Doing one of these with my old wood burner, oh man, they would have each taken probably 5 hours to do. Because the small ones used to take me between 2.5 and 3 hours with my old wood burner, and now they take me an hour, so that's like a third of the time. This one took me an hour and a half. That's about 4.5 hours, probably with my old wood burner. So talk about a good investment, eh? I mean, I don't regret using the other wood burner because it was a smaller one and a cheap one, and it introduced me to wood burning, and that's what I wanted, something to try to see if I liked it or not, and I did. So then I was able to invest in something bigger. Oh man, we forgot this little guy right over here. Probably forgot another one somewhere else too. Let's turn this thing back on. I think we're good. I think that's got it. I'm just gonna wipe this off up on that one. All right, so there's the first layer of the white on the grain elevator piece. So I'm just gonna set this to the side here so I don't accidentally put something on it. Okay. Now we will jump into the Lake Louise one. I know I'm going to be using the same color, but I'm just going to quickly rinse off my brush. Sometimes if you use the same paint on it for so long, then there'll be a little bit left on the inside that will start to dry on you, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, I'll put this up there. Let's get some more white paint onto our palette here. Okay. If I can get this lid back on, sometimes I just don't quite want it. There we go. Got it. And now I've got my little reference here. Make sure this is nice and dry. Let's mark. I'm going to turn it. Mark where we got our whites. There. This little guy. This guy here. A few row hairs there. Should be right. Should I get this right? And this one here. This one here. This one. That one. This one here. And then on this piece, we've got one thing of snow where it is white. Just going to put that in right there too, and we'll do that. We'll do the first layer of that one while we're at it. That's the other thing I've learned with these ones. You know, the first time I was painting a lot of these ones, the colors were just kind of however I felt for them to be. I didn't really have too much of a plan. I planned them out a little bit, but I wouldn't have known when I was doing the sky that that piece was going to be white. But now that I do know that, I can save some time, and while I have the white out, I can just get right into it and get that done. Yeah, this one you can see there's only what 3, 6, 8 clouds, whereas in the other one there was probably double that. If I was doing any of these on a larger piece of wood, I would have to use my easel. My desk wouldn't be big enough. Oh, my counting was off. This has 9 white spaces, including the snow. 8 in the sky. And I'm a math teacher. So I got a little bit of white on that one there, but that's not an issue. When I go in and put any other color over top of it, it will be much more powerful and just overlap it with these. Still been debating a little bit, but I think with the greens in this one, with kind of that darker sky, I might almost yellow them up just a little bit more. 'Cause I don't think a bright green is really what we're looking for with this kind of color palette. So we'll have to experiment a little bit with that, and we'll see how that goes. A little bit more yellow in the brightest greens, but then a little bit more blue green in the darker ones instead of being such a pure green. But who knows, maybe I'll end up doing them all a bit more with a blue undertone to them. The grain elevator one doesn't even have any green in it anyways. I'm fine with that one. It's this one and the moose one that will have a little bit that we'll have to check out. Right, and moving into the last block here. Yeah, I definitely don't foresee us getting into the other blue colors tonight. But we'll definitely be getting into those tomorrow. All right, let me double check my reference there. White, 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 and white. Yep. So here you go. I'll show this up here. We have the white clouds. First layer on this one. Set this off to this side here. Now we will get into the last one, moose one. Bring up my reference photo of that. Again, I'm just going to rinse off that brush. This one's your favorite? Yeah, I kind of did this one on a whim when I was doing a lot of these designs, and it's the only one so far that features an animal. And I've been wanting to do more feature animals, not just a moose, but yeah, the moose is pretty cool. And it's actually the only one that I have right now that is vertical orientation. The rest are all landscape. I've got one other design in the works right now that's going to be vertical as well. Two other ones that are horizontal, but yeah, as of this moment, this is the only one that is vertical. All the other ones are horizontal. All right, so let's mark these ones. This one's got a decently large sky to it as well. I think just because of the orientation of the piece, that promotes a larger sky. Okay, this one here. This one, that one. That one. That one. And this one. Okay, we got it. So sorry for most of it. I think this is going to be sideways for a lot of this, just because it obviously fits better on the desk. And when I'm doing these long stretches like this, it's easier for me to paint them when they're in line with me. Definitely be getting a little bit more white out on the palette here shortly. As we are almost through this one. I don't know if you can see it all, but the side of my hand is like stained yellow from the sap that comes out of the wood when I burn it, and then I rub my hand on it. You have to find some way to clean that off. Just the regular washing of hands and stuff does not work. It's stained. No, yeah, if you can see it there, it's like literally tinted right orange, all the way down from my pinky. I don't know if you can see it on my pinky as much, but it's definitely there. Charity, are you working on a painting right now or doing a piece of art right now while you watch or listen? Oh, nice. What's it of? Good landscape. Oh, okay, nice. Are you recording, like, do you create time lapses, or are you, do you do like kind of like a step-by-step commentary, or like what are you planning to do with this one? Yeah, definitely. That's cool though. I'll definitely have to check that one out when you post it. I'd love to see the time lapse. I like seeing the process of how people work. For most of the original wood paintings like this, or the small ones, I have time lapses. I don't think I do of the moose, to be honest, but I might. I don't remember. But for most of the other designs, I know I was able to get a time lapse up for all of them. Are you planning on uploading an unedited version eventually? That's cool too. Sometimes it's hard to have the space to be able, the hard drive space to have all these videos. You know, I have an external hard drive right now that I put most of my art videos onto after I'm done editing them, because I can't have them all on my computer, just on my laptop. One day in a dream studio, I'll have a nice editing computer with a big hard drive for all the videos. I didn't put enough white out. I know I'm going to leave a little bit more. Need a little bit more. And we are 8:25. I'll probably just finish up the first layer here of these ones tonight. I'll do a second layer during the day so I don't bore you all. And then we'll get into some of the other colors tomorrow night. I think it'd be fun to set up some live videos sometime where I could send out, like a reference photo and, what colors I plan to use, and then we can all paint it together at the same time, and then afterwards we could share the photos with each other, and then I could share it onto, my Facebook group or Facebook page and Instagram account. I think something like that would be pretty fun. I think, I think the one thing I like about art so much is that even from, like one reference photo or one idea, everybody has their own little take on it and their own style to it. And it's always fun to see those different styles that people have. All right, let's get some more white. I don't know if that's going to be enough either. And if we have any extra, then we will just quickly add a second layer onto some of the stuff. So I just need a drink of water quick. That mic is right by my throat. I'm sure that sweaty noise was beautiful. So here there were a couple splinters in the wood. They're not full on cracks. They just, because they don't even really go much deep at all in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dab in a thick amount of paint. And we'll do another layer onto that for sure, see how it looks, and if we need to add some of the, what do I have? It's just some of the soft gel, the golden soft gel in there, just to be a little bit of a filler, and then paint on top of that, then we'll do that. But I think just adding in some of this thick paint will be all right. I think that'll serve the purpose that we need. But if there's ever like, a knot in the wood with a crack beside it or a larger deformation in the wood, then I'll use that soft gel to fill it in first to protect the integrity of the wood, and then just paint over top of it. And the ones that I've done that on so far, it's worked great. Usually when I, purchase the board before at the store, I will go through a lot of them first and look for the ones that have the least amount of blemishes on them. And if I can see that there is a crack, then I won't buy it. But every once in a while, maybe one piece out of the whole board will end up having a little bit on it, and then I just fix it up and just add some more character to the piece. That's all. Where am I? Up, down here. All right, we'll get down into this one here. I'm hoping that by putting the paint on a little bit more liberally and thick, that I'll be able to get by with just doing 2 layers of white and then maybe a touch up in the spots that need it. But I won't know that until tomorrow. But we can always dream. All right. Let us double check that we got all the whites. Yep, we did. So with a little bit of white that I have left on the palette, I'm just gonna take it and start doing a bit of a second layer in this one. And we'll put it to use. Paint's expensive. And white is my precious color. All right, so off that brush, I gotta empty this paint water. I've had it down here for a couple days. It's getting pretty murky. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for tonight. So thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions about that packaging that I did at the beginning, let me know. Tomorrow during the day, I'll get the second layer of these whites done on these 3 paintings, and then we'll get into the sky more. Usually with the sky, with the darker blues, it only takes 1 layer, maybe 2. And so hopefully we'll be able to get through a little bit more tomorrow evening. And yeah, then we'll go from there after the skies, and we'll probably just do each individual piece more as is. We might do a little bit of overlap with the greens or with the lakes, but yeah, we'll probably do a little bit more individual stuff for each of them after this one. So yeah, tune in again tomorrow night, probably same time again, between 7 and 7:30 is usually when I can get on. And in the meantime, don't hesitate to go and watch some of my other videos on my channel, or check out my website, briansalonartist.com. And yeah, we'll see you next time.